So today, on this video series about the eclipse, I have invited Wesley Kizer, who is our fire chief here in Pittsburg. And he's going to be talking to us a little bit about how the fire department is preparing for the eclipse and what are some safety measures that we as residents could take as well. So, well, thanks for joining me today, Wesley.
My pleasure.
Well, I know you've been in on some of the emergency management meetings that we've been having over the past few months.
Right.
And we've been making a lot of plans because we feel like we could have a big influx of people come into our town.
That's what we're being told. I've never personally been through this, but same thing as everything else for us. It's always to be better prepared than what you're expecting. So they're expecting several thousand people. So for us, that's more than what we usually have to deal with.
Right.
So change things up a little bit and see what we can do to prepare for it.
And be ready. So, what is the fire department preparing for? How is they preparing?
Some of ours, again, the influx of people, we could be dealing with some issues as far as more fires, of course. For us, also, we're worried about also our fire code for how many people are allowed in certain areas, making sure people can get in and out, and all that. And then just the overall, just people being here will raise calls for PD and EMS, and we do a lot of that to assist them with their situation. So for us, it's going to be a big deal of just to make sure we have enough people. And even most of the time we still don't have enough people, so what do we do in that event of as categorizing our priorities for calls and all of that. So just overall plan of that whenever it does happen, to put it into play and to hopefully, like I said, be prepared the best we can for it.
Right. Well, we're talking about in our meetings that like if all of these people come into the area, our cellular service may not work. Our internet may not work, cell service, phone service. So what's some of the steps that the city and the fire department or on the city are taking to make sure that everybody's safe?
So there's a couple of things I'll highlight. One is that there will be an extra presence for first responders. So of course, if you see us and you have something that you need to ask us or whatever, don't be afraid to ask us. If you do have an emergency, you can just tell us if you see us. You can walk up to any of the stations and tell us. But one thing that is kind of new, most people don't know about, that Camp County does participate in, is that we are a 911 dispatch, so where you can actually text or call it. And so for the texting side of it, sometimes a text can get through where a call doesn't.
Okay.
And it's pretty simple compared to what most people would think. All you really have to do is you just go to, like you would send a regular text message to somebody else, and the part of that phone when you open up your messaging, put in 911, and then after that,
so where the name typically is, you're going to type in 911.
Correct. Where you would type in, usually where you select from your contacts and all that. Don't do that. Just open up a new message and just put 911 like you would call it. And then below that, for your message part, just say basically put where you're at, what is happening, and what do you need. Do you need fire? Do you need EMS? Do you need police? And then be prepared also, if that does go through, they will message you back, and they will say, okay, well, more information of what exactly is going on. If you say, I just need fire at this location, well, we need to know, why do you need fire? Do you need, is it a structure fire? Is it a grass fire? Is it a complaint? Whatever it is.
So be specific.
So try to be a little bit specific. Yeah. Don't go too long into it. And if you can't, that's fine. We'll take what we got. We'll show up and we'll do what we got to do. And again, if that doesn't go through, try to find somewhere where you can find it. And during that high impact day, we're planning on that we'll be all over town. We're not going to be at the station only. We'll be at several
you're just
parts.
going to be out and about.
So if you see us, whatever, and it does go down, because and unlike some people may not have noticed this, but we have had times where our cell service does go down even just now. And so if cell service does go down, you can get a text through, use that. And if you can't, best way is just to drive and find us and tell us, and we'll get it out.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Wesley. That was super informative, and I didn't know very much about 911 texting. I've never had to use it, but it's scary when you go to your phone and you can't call anybody, and then you think, well, if I have an emergency.
Exactly. And make
your
sure
texting works.
That one of the things they did about that was not just for outages and all that. They did that. There's times when you can be in an emergency situation and you don't want to tell somebody you're doing 911. So you can use it at any time you need to. We prefer a call because that is the easier way to get more information. But if you have to use text, it is available.
So. All right. Well, thank you again for joining me today.